Okay, trying again. Seeing how, if and how this will work. And try it. It doesn't look like it's lagging out too hard. Let's see how it's looking now. It's doing alright. Okay, let's do it. I guess the computer was just running too hard there. I knocked it down to cool. Alright, we're good. We're moving. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I guess this is the problem with streaming, right? Like, you try to do anything and you gotta know how to do 10 other things first. But, you know, it'd be like that sometimes. Finally got it to work. I'm in now. Everyone on streaming here. Cool, cool. Assign it to myself. That's my girlfriend. Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing real good. Really nice considering how awful it was going about 10, 15 minutes ago, but I feel good about this now. So basically all I really wanted to do was just run through and show you guys how I made the song, or like what all is in the song. And there's really not a whole lot to it, but I feel like you gotta promote your song somehow. So this is how we're trying to do it. Okay, so you heard that little bit and piece of the song. Now I'm going to just hop right into it here. We'll start with a track. Okay. Super simple piano here. I love the piano in this actually. Yeah. Really nothing crazy going on here. I actually ended up using a limiter to actually turn it up a little bit because it was too quiet. There wasn't enough, couldn't get enough out of just the plugin itself, which I think is actually a problem that they that Imagero or whoever made the piano fixed with the second iteration of the plugin. Really, really great piano plugin too. If you guys have never used it before, highly recommend it. A lot of cool stuff going on though. Actually, no, there isn't a lot of cool stuff, but I think that's cool within in and of itself. So these are like 3 N64 sounds that I use, like a little small sampler to get. Hold on, I'll turn it up a little bit. I know it's quiet. right here. So quiet. Anyhow. I think the most complex part of the whole song is probably just all these strings here that end up at the end. Homie Gideon recorded them. It gets really cool right around here. Yeah. I want to say something, there's like 20 something parts. I'm using OBS. I just lowered the frame rate. Yeah, everything seems to be working just fine now. It's oh for me for music, my bad. Ableton. I'm an Ableton boy. I do like Ableton quite a bit. I mean, obviously, if I was recording drums, I would be probably trying to use Pro Tools. Or if I was trying to track more than, like, you know, a couple things at once. But this is straight up just everything here, aside from vocals on this song. Well, bass was tracked in too. I tracked that through pre. But yeah, I like to use Ableton. It's about the same as any and all DAW, I feel like, at this point, you know. It just I wish I could hide this window and just have the chat opened. Like, that would be tight. Maybe you can do that. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I just started doing streaming stuff. Let's talk more about the track. So let's get into the drums, actually, because I kind of feel like, other than the vocals, that's probably the most complex thing that's going on here, right? So, super simple loop, kick, drum, rim, couple hats. But the way that it sounds is actually coming from these plugins here. You take all this stuff off, actually sounds a whole lot brighter, but I really wanted the drums to sound like they were coming out of a drum machine. So give me live. I think the plugin that put the most character on it, not really character, but it's making the most difference in the sound, is RC20 combined with Fab Filter. And I'm just rolling off like to about 6K up top. Wasn't much of a point to roll anything down low. The only thing down there is like some sub in the kick drum. Let's see how we run in now, though. It looks good from this window, so I'm going to assume that we're good. Oh, man. Not going to lie, trying to get all this stuff together kind of threw me off a little bit, but overall, like, the song is deliberately very simple because the hook is so good that, or the chorus, excuse me. The chorus, I feel like, is so good that it didn't really need much around it. Let's see. Yeah. See, in my opinion, It's fire.
I wanna show a fit, got chick, play the bass, don't use a pick, pocket lock, pocket hard, baseline bringing all the boys to the
Also,
yard.
sorry sorry my computer fan is so loud. This is what happens when you have a 3-year-old computer.
Jeans, only wear them skinny things, yoga pants, crane pose, make me wanna hotter clothes. Not some disco bitch on some Cisco shit, thong song. Got that ass moving fast, make it hard to sing along.
Yep. Let's play with some of these elements here. So, here's the verse. Very simple. A lot of the same characters here. So here's what the Uber mod's doing. Giving us some kind of reflection sounds. EQ's cutting out some of that low mid rumble and then kind of. One thing I really love doing is taking this this phone setting here and just playing around with the points that they set, and I don't know, it's definitely a much sharper sound when you start with it, but if you play around with it, you can get some really cool sounds out of it. You know, kind of cut out to here, cut out to here. There's not much going on up here anyway that you can really hear, but also J37. God tier $30 plugin. Just a little bit of saturation here. Thank you, Cat. She don't wear no mom jeans, only wear them skinny things. Yoga pants, crane pose, make me wanna hotter clothes. Not some disco bitch on some Cisco shit, thong song. Got that ass moving fast, make it hard to sing. Okay. So also in here, you know, what's really cool about Ableton is that they're like stock resampling and like beats algorithms make it super easy to pitch things up and down and make them sound cool. I struggled really hard for a while to get these to sound the way that I wanted, but I think overall, after a couple hours, I was finally able to get them to sound like this. And then these over here, the low-pitched ones.
Shake that ass, shake that ass. Shake that ass, shake that ass.
But really all I did was I grabbed a clip, cut it down this much, and then yeah, I put it on the the Complex Pro. These are the algorithms here. Complex Pro is real good for vocals, so is Complex. But yeah, and then just, you know, pitched it, turned it down, turned it up a little bit. There are a couple places where I feel like I had like made things sound kind of glitchy. Ah, yeah, there they are. The gone head part. Yeah. Oh man, you know what? It honestly feels like a 90s Trick Daddy song. I think deliberately, I wanted it. I had been listening to that Afex piano, that Afex Twin song, the Piano One, Avril 14th, and I'd also been listening to a lot of Project Pat, which is like a pretty regular thing for me. I like Project Pat a whole lot. Just a really unique voice, super cool bars, always. Not that I can relate to any of it, but like the emotion behind it, I can definitely relate to. I don't know, I was listening to a whole lot of both of those, and I feel like every good song I've ever written almost kind of starts as a joke. Like, okay, I'm gonna take a bunch of elements from these things that I love and smash them together, and I'm gonna think it's really funny at first, and then like I'm gonna get to a point to where I spent a couple hours with it, and I ended up really, really liking it. Yeah, man, Project Pat is so good. Particularly, I feel like such a dweeb saying it like this, but like, man, those early projects when he was just kind of figuring out where he was going in terms of like what and how he was going to deliver every song. And he still had like way more confidence than any other rapper that I've heard, like, you know, at the beginning of their careers. But like even on tracks like Red Rum or God, pretty much anything off that Murders and Robbers project. Crazy how confident that man sounded for only being a project deep. Just like a real poet vibe, which I think is, a lot of people probably wouldn't be able to appreciate because they, they hear, a gangsta doing gangsta rap and probably think like, oh man, yeah, this is what it is, coming from Memphis, exactly what you would expect. But like, man, like that dude lived it. And just, I also think like, he's incredibly versatile too. Like, they never released it, but that song that he did with the Roots was so cool. Really great storyteller. Him and Fraser Boy both, I think, in terms of the guys that were on the Hypnotize camp stuff, were telling the coolest stories. And I think that's part of the reason why, ultimately 3 6 Mafia ended up being able to go and win an Academy Award. Fraser Boy was writing those bars on Hard Out Here for a Pimp. That was definitely his song. But anyway, enough gushing about Memphis and 3 6 and Project Pat. That's a given. That's like my teenage music. Like, I loved that stuff so much. But anyway, I'd actually love to dive into these strings a little bit because I think Gideon did so much good work on them that it would be like disrespectful not to give them their flowers. So just like for first violin alone, there are six parts, and they sound like this. Oh, excuse me. And then second violin is playing, God, another 6 parts. I forgot how dense this was, but now I got the streaming thing figured out though, and I hop on for another like production tutorial. I know I've got one other one that Gideon did strings on that's a lot like this. That's just like incredibly intense. Like, if it were a flavor, it would be umami. Like, there's just it's so dense. Like, I'll hear samples every now and again that sound this like impactful, but like to see the raw stems myself and have them in this session is wild. I mean, 4 cellos, 4 viola. Jesus. And it's just like, dude, I think Gideon had actually just picked up viola at the time, which is hilarious. I mean, he plays like cello and violin, I'm pretty sure, but like, to me that would be a whole different beast, and I think dude just really picked it up, very quickly. So, all right, what have I not talked about? I haven't talked about the bass very much, but there's really not much going on there. The bass was this sub 37 here. I don't think I had my API preamp yet, but I jacked it through a preamp. The Apollos have very, very good converters. The pre that I tracked it through on there was good. Um, but yeah, you can't really hear it all that well. It really only has an impact in headphones and like on the car, but like any good, um, you know, Memphis rap track, you want to have some sort of combination like this where basically you sidechain the kick to the sub frequency to make it feel like an 808, but I didn't want to use an 808 just because I don't know, the piano's so pretty. Yeah, okay. I've been looking for these. This is my favorite part of the song. So there's this sampler that I use called whatever you do, Silverzando or however they say it. But you can drop sound fonts into it, so like little AIF files of all of the sounds that like you either heard on the N64 or the SNES or the NES, whatever. This is actually the harp sound that you can hear on games like Ocarina of Time, or it sounds immediately and just throws me back into man. It's funny how sound has that much power. But I want to say, yeah, I threw it on there twice and printed it, and then effects-wise, I don't think I did much. That's funny. Let's see. What do I do here? Yeah, this is when I discovered that scruffy space setting on this J37 plugin. If you're ever looking for, like, to me, the emulation of tape here for the price is good. I mean, the main thing that I play with on this plugin is the delay time here, and then it's got 3 different sounding tape formulas. It never leaves 15 IPS for me, which is just like how fast these guys are spinning. But this is like a mastering kind of stereo tape machine where any of these are going to sound good. Normally I don't have the wow up very high, but I guess I thought that was cool on the piano sound there. But J37 for the price is just like a really solid investment. I've used that on so many songs. Let's talk about the vocal chain real quick, because I haven't really... I feel like that's something that's worth talking about that, could be of some... I do like old Memphis funk. Man. Play a Fly, I don't know if you could technically classify that as, funk, but I do think that if you haven't heard Play a Fly's Nobody Needs Nobody, that track goes stupid. It is probably the best underground rap song in the history of Memphis, in my opinion. I just don't think there's anybody out there who was doing it like Play a Fly at the time. Like, actually, come to think of it, I think what had happened was Play a Fly was actually working with Juicy J and DJ Paul at the time. And I want to say that they were just getting ready to sign their deal, their first record deal. I forgot the name of the company that they signed with at first, but they signed the deal, and I think they kind of had to like offload Play a Fly and didn't really include them in what they were doing. I could be speaking out of turn here, but I feel like I read this somewhere. But Nobody Needs Nobody was like his response to essentially being cut out of working with those dudes. And in my opinion, I don't think that like 3-6 has a song pound for pound with Nobody Needs Nobody. Sure, they had some commercial success with, like, again, some Project Pat type stuff, like Sipping on Some Scissor or shoot, chicken heads. But, you know, I know everybody knows 3-6 from like Stay Fly and all that stuff, but man, I don't know. I just think Nobody Needs Nobody is one of those like once in a lifetime kind of songs that you really can't outdo it, in my opinion. But that's me just geeking a little bit. I'm a big fan of Memphis rap in general. I don't think there's a city that doesn't like it. I think the next closest thing is probably Houston and Atlanta. But there've been so many good eras of like hip hop in the mid 2000s too, the early to mid 2000s, like UGK, Pimp C, and Bun B. 8Ball and MJG again in Memphis. God, such good music. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. I was talking about vocal chain. Okay, so on the verse here, I'm pretty confident all I'm doing is, yeah, I think I talked about this a little bit already, but the Uber mod kind of giving it this reflective kind of sound that for whatever reason just really meshed well with the distortion that I used from the J37. On the Shake That Ass part, this is where most of the processing was happening. And I lumped in the pitched versions of it too. But most of my mixes like include some version of the LA2A here with the 1176. And I think in terms of the, like, these are the UAD ones, but the Waves emulations are really, really great. Like, and they use a whole lot less processing power too and do the job just as well, I think. I'm using 2 instances of Splice here, which I think is overkill. Or not Splice, I'm using 2 instances of Soothe, but like, I think one's just a de-esser because I was too lazy to go actually set a de-esser with the other one. And then I thought the vocals sounded kind of harsh, so I just threw that on there and didn't really do any other EQ work. Yep, this is very typical of me, just a low cut. You know, I think I was probably writing this song so quickly that I just threw a lot of this stuff in here really, really quick in an attempt to, like, you know, keep the song moving. Because if you spend too much time on something like this when the song is coming, then it just turns into this thing where it's like you're fighting your production mind as opposed to like fighting the, you know, the writer who's just trying to finish the song. But this one went pretty quick. I think it took me like a day. I remember my friend from like grade school hit me up that day, and I'd actually just like put out a song with Project Pat called Crabgrass, and I was showing it to him because he didn't believe me that I did it. And then I just remember him kind of looking at me like I was crazy because we're definitely just rapping about food. But then I came back home and I feel like I wrote like a true Project Pat style song in that it's just straight up about, or at least sounds like it's about throwing ass, but there's no ass being thrown here. Both in the music video and then in the song too. I think the best part of the song is actually the second verse.
I don't want what you think, I'm just trying to fill the void. Every person that I love just leaves my heart destroyed. You don't even hear me.
Let's see what I'm doing over here. Yep, same thing. LA2A, 1176. Didn't even use any soothe. Yep, scruffy space. Except it looks like I turned the rate down a little bit here. Yeah, I mean, like, this is just very par for the course for me here. I use all of these almost always with every song that I'm using. I'm glad you like it, Kat. Thank you very much. I guess I just wanted to make sure that, like, I know what it sounds like the song is about, but to me, I guess it doesn't really feel like it's about shaking your ass in like a literal sense as much as it feels like, I don't know, I think around the time that I wrote this was around the time that things started kind of picking up on TikTok, and it felt like I was showing up every day to make this content, which I record over there in my closet, and it just felt real laborious because I didn't feel like it was actually helping me like get people directed towards the music, which is like the goofy thing about TikTok is that it kind of like pigeonholes you in like this algorithmic niche where it's like if you don't keep making the type of content that you make, then and you try to make anything else, then you're going to be sitting in like the 0 to 1,000 view region until something can happen, or at least I thought, because I made some fantastic like sketch content for Therapy Dog when I dropped that, and it still just didn't really seem to connect. So I actually like started a separate TikTok account just for music and have been kind of like teasing some new stuff there because I've had a very productive last 6 months in terms of like songs I've written. But this is kind of like, this song's about 2 years old now, and I think it's ready to shove off and go out into the great internet sea, and hopefully it'll find some people that it connects with. I know at first, when you hear it the first time, it really just sounds like it's about throwing ass, but at the end of the day, it's kind of just about that icky feeling you get when you feel like you gotta show up to something that you don't really want to do. Like going and scrolling through like Instagram or Twitter to find memes, which I love a good meme, don't get me wrong, but doing that type of thing and then going and trying to read it like Meemaw. I mean, I love being Meemaw when I can be. I mean, I'm Meemaw in the music video for Shake That Ass, but my only point is, it kind of just gets to the point where you're like, why am I doing this? Because I don't make any money doing it. But I do really like that I've gotten to connect with people on Discord and stuff like that, and that there seems to be like a community of people who are genuinely interested in just getting to know the stuff that I do. And I don't know, it's just nice to make friends in general. I think since COVID happened, it's just been a tough go of it in terms of making any new friends. I really feel like I lost a couple years after COVID happened, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. I feel like that's a negative approach of it, but maybe it's not. I don't know. Anywho, well, I'm gonna play the song one time through, and then I'm gonna get out.
Shake that ass. Go ahead, baby girl, 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 shake
to answer your question, Mama, no, we did not finish The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I will probably hop back in it once I feel like I get to a place where I have a little bit more time to think about what I'm doing before, because I was just being dumb yesterday. I didn't know what or how to start streaming, but I'm gonna be streaming all week, and I'm kind of planning on just doing a bunch of streams in general, because I kind of feel like the name of the game is like I don't know, just showing up and doing stuff with people on here is fun. And like now I think I figured out what the problem was, Kat. Like I just had to turn my FPS down because I was like going at like 60 frames. But now we're on 30 and like stuff seems to be running pretty good. So oh, also I'm glad you like the string part. I think the string part is absolutely crazy. The fact that Gideon tracked all of those parts is pretty incredible. And I feel like mixing it was very easy too. Like I just thought about what a string quartet what I would want a string quartet to sound like in these, or like, you know, from this perspective more or less, and just kind of like panned it like a V. You know, had some stuff that was like hard left, hard right, and then like had some stuff that was kind of inching towards the middle, and then had the cellos and the bass sit closest to the middle in my ears. But that is the magic of panning. It can really make you feel like you're in a room that you're not, because I feel like every time I listen to just this bit here, even, it actually feels like I'm in the room with them. But anywho, yeah, so this is Shake That Ass. The song's coming out tomorrow. There's gonna be a music video. I will post stuff about it. I'm gonna be streaming more. More Zelda. Probably do some Katamari, because I love me some Katamari. And yeah, I'm glad you like the N64 samples. Yeah, I that was really just for me. I thought that the harp would make it I don't know. I guess when I was like thinking of it like a joke still, I was like, man, if I was in a club and I wanted a song that made me feel all the things that like video game music has made me feel, then I need to use some like video game sounds. And so that harp, the little accordion thing, and then the piano melody part, all N64 sounds. Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Okay, Kat. I think I'm gonna hop out of here. I think I have said all that I can say about this one, but I'm so glad that you like it, and you'll be able to listen to it tomorrow, and I'm glad you liked the music video. I'm glad that you got to see Mima in action. That was a good time. But yeah, I'm gonna keep streaming and keep getting good at it, and then hopefully over time I will not have to take 10, 20 times to get something to work. But anyway, have a good rest of your evening, and I appreciate all caps. I appreciate you so much. Okay, that's enough. That's good. We did the thing we were gonna do. Okay.